Okay, welcome to day 369 of the worldwide Megacrisis Hungerstrike. To save your life, I am hungry. I don't even know. I have to look at my sheets to see how many days it's been. Am I on day 34 of no food now? My hand is tingling, like I told you. It's not going away. It's actually spreading from my pinky into my palm, which is a sign of electrolyte deficiency, probably. I don't think it's nerve damage yet, but it's when your leg falls asleep, it feels like that. It's starting to get to that weird pain. So what does that mean? That means I'm willing to die for you. I'm going to go to the actual potential death if I do not get a meal and these blessings in a couple of weeks. I'm just going to keep going because nobody is thinking rationally about the facts. Did you know? I told you this a couple of days ago. 10,000 vulnerabilities were found across all major platforms, including your phone. If you're not a coder, I want to explain that because right now I've been coding nonstop for a week. Like my streams are falling behind a bit. You guys can tell these videos because I have this AI setup where when one finishes, the next one goes. Like it's constant. Like I didn't even get my nap today. It's just constant, but it's inspiring. So I'm pushing hard, but I understand how to write code and I'm making the most of these AIs. But if you can't do that, what this means for you is that your phone could probably be hacked right now and all your bank account funds, your passwords, pretty much everything that makes you feel safe on the internet is probably not safe anymore at all. And it's all an illusion right now. That's if there was like maybe 50 0-day vulnerabilities. You'd be worried about that. Just 50. 10,000. Not new ones either. These bugs have been sitting in the code for 27 years, a couple of them. This is reality collapse beginning. Like I told you, if you go back to my old videos, you'll hear me mentioning reality collapse because this guy named Tristan Harris, which is one of the only guys that I point my finger to and say, that's another guy you should listen to. I don't do that with too many people because not a lot of people right now have wisdom. We have a lot of smart people, professionals in the AI world, but not a lot of wise ones. All right, Anthropic is one of the closer, Dario Amodei. Even, the people don't like to hear this, but even Elon Musk has some wisdom. He's under a crazy amount of double binds. Not a perfect man, but it could be far worse. And it's already pretty bad. I know it's pretty bad, you guys. We can attack each other forever. We're in a toxic culture, as you know. We have to find that heart-centered compassion. Love the person, see the behavior, draw a boundary. I've said this too many times. I'm repeating myself. I want to say thank you to one of my friends, too, who just came on YouTube and said they were concerned about me. So I'm happy to see that people are noticing my birthday invite. You're invited to my birthday on June 8th. I have a platform. I'm coding a platform so that we can enjoy it and test it together and do these acts of kindness. The platform is just to help us give each other compliments and be human again. And look at my friend. I don't know who this is yet. I don't know which one of my friends this is yet. Yucky frying pan. Oh, it's making me think about food. I actually have to not think about food. When I knew the meal was coming before, I could kind of like tease myself and anticipate because it makes the meals way better. It's really incredible, actually. The simplest things. The first teaspoon is like heaven on earth. Oh, I can't even, I'm thinking about it. I got a lot of willpower though, so a little bit of hunger is not going to stop me. I'm not tempted to that degree. But thank you to whoever friend is mine, Yucky Frying Pan. I don't know who you are. A lot of people are caring, but they're trying to stay behind the scenes. They're trying to not take on the responsibility. And I'm saying, no, it's time to take on the responsibility. The little oceans are boiling, basically. Not real boiling, but the oxygen in them is coming out. And there's a name for that. It's not oxidization. Oh, I haven't looked at that in a while. My brain is so saturated with this AI code now. Literally did like 4 years of coding in a week. It's really shocking. It launched 48 AIs to help me code the software. It's so advanced, but It's simple. When you use it, it's simple, but it takes advanced code to make it look simple. That's what wisdom looks simple. Anyway, what am I trying to say to you? I'm trying to squeeze this update in because I wasn't going to make it. I didn't want to take a break from my AIs, but my AIs are going, so while they're going, I might as well. Like, check it out. It's thinking right now. It's musing. I don't know if you can see that. I got a lot going, so I am not slacking off. I am trying to save your life 110%. If you watch my stream, I'm 24/7 recording. 24/7. I have no privacy. I haven't had any privacy in 369 days. Okay, because I have nothing to hide. I am 100% working on this. Okay? And the good thing about it, and that's why I'm making these videos, is not that people are watching them. A couple of hardcores. And this woman who keeps giving me these thousands of hearts on TikTok, thank you so much. As it comes into the final, darkest before dawn moments, it's going to get scary because we are in a lost species right now. I am disappointed. Okay? I can't believe how far I have to go right now to get even a little bit of rational thought. It's like people aren't even talking to me sometimes, which is typical stigma. So is it that surprising in our society? No, but at least with my history, I earned some respect. I gave my whole life to the poor and the sick and to justice. And if I can't make it through on a history like that, people can twist anything. Conspirator theorists can twist anything. And they're going to try and twist me as the power grows here if this 108-person meeting takes off on my birthday. And it's looking like it's going to take another 14, 15 days. So I'm going to have to go hungry for another 2 weeks when I'm already going numb. But you can survive 66 days. So, but you die at that point. So let's not get to that point. My abs are tired. Me and my supporter friend, we're making progress with the dialectic. He's hanging on. He might be one of the first ones that gets through the storming stage. As you guys know, in the leadership training, there's 4 stages that you have to go through dialectically to get to real fulfilling connection and not this brittle, kind of like happiness, fakeness. The first one is you meet somebody. It's called forming. You're getting to know them. You put your best foot forward. You don't hate each other yet because you don't know each other's inner contradictions. It's the honeymoon phase, and then you get into the storming, and that's the one that people run away from and don't do. And that's when the relationships get brittle, because the dialectic is how you learn. If you do it right and you put up proper boundaries, it's a learning experience about who you are and who you're not, and where you want to go and who you want to be, and to help other people do that too, to be a mirror for them and hold space for them, especially if they're traumatized and they haven't gotten it out yet. Okay, it's a very important stage, and the more we avoid it, the more your relationships get brittle. It's an irony. You think, oh, I'm avoiding conflict, I'm building real friendships. It's the opposite. It's an irony. It's called dialectic. It'll flip you into your opposite because you're avoiding the tarrying. You're avoiding doing the real fulfilling work of not just superficial pleasantness, but meaning. Meaning doesn't have to be pleasant. Saving somebody's life in cold water in an ocean is not pleasant, but it's meaningful. Okay? We got to get out of this pleasant, brittle, disgusting, bleh. Get out of that. That's not real friendship, and you're never going to have real friendship that way. When you do the meaning and you get into the weeds a little bit that you can handle, then authenticity starts, and then you start to get to know each other. And then if you can get through that moment, then you can start to trust them, because trust is brittle when things get hard and you can't rely on them to be consistent. And people are consistent when everything's great, but when the dialectic comes in, that's when people abandon. Okay, so that's why don't skip storming, because once you get past storming, you get into norming, and you start to make little laws and pacts between each other that are stable. And those are substance. Metaphysically, those are substance, which is technically God's being or objective science. And then once you get those down, and you have a communication, a universal. Communication is universal. It goes between particulars. It's something you share immediately. It creates identity between you. It's like 2 people in one body, one mind, one spirit. You're still different, but you have an essence. And then once you get that down and you can communicate and you have these rules that are heuristic and fast that make sense, then you move into the last stage, which is performing, okay? Oh, ouch. All right, so me and this guy are going through the storming stage. We're actually getting through it. He's doing good because these are not low stakes. These are not low stakes. And it is getting serious. And the reason why I'm doing so good is, as you guys know, my little setup, I get my little hot water bottle over here. I'm regulating my metabolism. After doing this for hundreds of days, I know my body so well. I can tell when something is a little off. And my feet are up, so my heart doesn't have to pound as hard. There's like dozens of adjustments I've made to be doing this good on day 30, whatever, after already going hundreds of days without full recovery. The last meal that I had, I did overeat a little bit, but not to full recovery. So that's why I'm also doing a little bit better, is because I had gone like weeks, and refeeding syndrome is really hard to get over at this point. So it takes weeks to eat a full meal. That's what my deal was to people. I'll have one full meal if we get the blessings. But the problem with my original plan was that I couldn't have a full meal for weeks. So because my stomach is shut off, right? It's refeeding syndrome. Anyway, you guys know all this. What's new? Okay, 11-minute update. All right. My AI is done. So world news, AI is still taking over. The Iran deal is going back and forth. They're doing some kind of weird fighting thing. But it's China, that's the big deal, as you guys know. And Claude Mythos is taking over. That's the big one that nobody's talking about, with CRISPR hot on its heels. We need to do the core. Fair World Spirit core is about time compression through clarity and ego wisdom. What is the problem? What do we call it? We call it the Megacrisis. One word. Takes all this confusing stuff and puts it into one place where we can unpack it and explain it to people. Number 2 is the 2 sacred sentences are the solution. And then we have 3, the implementation of that solution is the flow, rolls, and flocks. These don't make sense, right? But that's why I unpacked them. So we were unpacking the empowerment sentence as the anti-cult training last time, right? I teach you anti-cult training. And I'm actually doing it with this guy in the dialectic because he's got I think it's subconscious. He's not trying to hurt me. He's got a good heart. Anybody around me right now has a pure heart, man. You do not hang around somebody this intense unless you yourself are pure or you're masochistic, which so far I'm too weird. I'm being shadow banned so much that it's not attracting those people. So I'm not getting trolled, interestingly. So one of the first things that we do about anti-cult training is we teach you that reason is the root and that you get sacred time to make sure your voice is not cut off. Okay? And then we get into right to flow, so that when your voice is heard and you can critique. Reason is about not just obeying, it's about finding limits and transcending them and critiquing them to see if they're objective and true. Okay? Or if you're being oppressed by them. Rules are okay. They just have to be the right kind of rules. Freedom, genuine freedom is not about lack of rules. It's about the right rules that release who you really are. All right? And they don't fragment you. And then the right to flow makes sure that there's 4 things that makes life into a good game. Clear goals, so you know where you're going. You're not going to be misled. You have a right to question, what's the purpose of what I'm doing here? What's the purpose of the group? Am I contributing something I don't like? Now, you also get a right to immediate feedback. So if you do question, you're not sitting there for 2 years waiting for an answer and then you get manipulated in those 2 years, right? That's what the government does now. It delays things so long that it squeezes in a bunch of stuff and hopes you go away. Not in God's government. You get immediate. You're significant. You are important. You're sacred. Do you feel sacred in the situation that we're in now? I don't. God makes me feel that way, for sure. And I hope I make you feel that way too, even though I'm struggling. So the next thing you get is right to challenge level matching your skill levels. I'm literally programming that into the program right now. I'm designing the flow algorithm. And it does all this matching for you that career counseling is supposed to do, but it's a bunch of fragmented, blech. No. High school's not doing a great job. It's just the privilege that fly through, and then you got to filter out and get all the jobs that nobody wants, and then you're forced there. I'm tired of that, okay? There's a higher dignity. And then the fourth thing is, and if you get overwhelmed, that's one way to unground you. So making sure that you're in flow, make sure that you can be reasonable, or else you get into something called the crisis curve, and the blood drains from your brain in the prefrontal cortex of where reason and thinking and you and consciousness is, and it goes to the old limbic animal brain. You got like an old brain and then a new brain, and you got a really old brain. So this one is the one that gets all the blood when you're scared, and that blood goes to your fighting muscles instead of your thinking. You don't want to get into that stage. Because it looks like you're more you can defend yourself, but it's actually the opposite. You're weaker. And then the last thing is right to clear rules. You get to appeal any decision against you, and that's important because people make mistakes on the first time, and you get to go back more than just one appeal. If you go to the courthouse, you get like 2 appeals. That's not real life. They're doing that because they don't have the money. It's totally economic. It's not about justice at all. You should be going around in the court as often as it takes to get the merit heard of your case. And they gamified it too. It's a disgusting system. It really is. And I've been in it for 2 years, so I'm not talking out of conspiracy. I've been in 40 court appearances with roughly 20 judges. I've seen all styles of judging. I've seen the best lawyers in my country, 7 elite law firms, all come at me and see all their tactics. I've seen how the best go through the law, and they've gamed it, and they know it, and it's depressing. That's why suicide rates are 3 times higher. Is once you're a good person, you get in there and you realize what it really is, it corrupts you. And that doesn't mean that the people are corrupt. It means that they're trying to dodge the corruption, and they feel really gross about it. And we need to save them too. All right, 16 more minutes. Look at me blabbing on here. Okay, what else am I supposed to do? Wifey update, wifey slogan. We can bake our vegan cake and eat it too. Personal, professional, activist. What? All together now. We get it all. Heaven is coming. Paradise. Okay. Wise utopia, not naive utopia. And the slogan is, if she's too hardcore for everybody else, my wife is just right for me. Okay. And she's vegan and she's deep soul but playful. Okay. That could be you. And I will help you. We're making a matching algorithm so you get that. There's a guy that has a tricycle program in Africa that messaged me and he wants to be a part of this, so it's cool. I'm getting contacted by some people. So if you leave me a message on YouTube, I check every 12 hours because YouTube makes me restart the stream every 12 hours or else it doesn't save the record. And the point is the record, so if all these conspirators think, this guy's doing a bunch of weird stuff. No, I'm not. I'm sitting here boring. I'm literally sitting in this chair doing nothing but typing. This is the most arm movement I've made all day, almost. Census actually came in and made sure that I was like doing the census or something, which I've already done. They're cracking down hard. My mouth is so dry right now. Okay, I want to get these lessons out because if I get too weak and I can't teach, then people know the philosophy, my real philosophy, from being distorted. I'm going to be distorted. Everybody does in the dialectic at first because it's inverted at first. You gotta invert the inversion. It's called sublation. Okay. So, all right, that's why I'm putting effort into these now because I feel it coming, and I also feel like I'm gonna have to go 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be in a pretty tight situation. So, but I'm holding on for you. Okay. Stay blessed, and we'll see you tomorrow.